Challenge is coming next.
We've already had one race this weekend. That was this morning at 10 minutes to 11. And a dramatic race in the TriStar R&G Triple Challenge it was too, James Whittam.
Yeah, it was. It was really tight at the front, and Tom Kahn got the win eventually, but not before he'd actually had a dust-up with pretty much everybody else around him. It was a cracking race. There was a little bit of... looking sideways at each other on the podium, though, I've got to say. I don't know how serious it got, but they certainly had a dust-up on track.
And that was Tom Kahn. The final order was Tom Kahn in first place. Second place went to Phil Atkinson, the South African. And third place, the lad who's on pole position for this race, number 66, the championship leader, Freddie Too Tall Pett. Scott Pitchers finished in fourth place in that race. Jesse James Jones finished fifth. Sam Middlemass in sixth place. Seventh went to Christa Bohm. Eighth to Richard Steadman. And ninth place went to David Salty Sellers, a former Royal Navy man who's making his comeback to the series, but unfortunately only part-time because he does a lot of work offshore, which rather messes up his chances of doing a complete championship. But 34-year-old David Sellers finished ninth. 10th place went to Andrew Lund.
It's funny, if you're in the Navy, you're on a ship, and I reckon by default you're offshore, Jack. Them ships that are onshore are houses, are they?
Yes, James, I don't quite know how to respond to that one, except he's no longer in the Navy, so whatever he's doing offshore is rather different to what he was. He's had, by the way, his girlfriend's Tammy, who came on a British Eurosport experience with us, believe it or not, a few years back. I won't even ask. I want to thank them for the bacon butty this morning. It was absolutely brilliant. So, welcome back to David Sellers. Congratulations to Freddie Pett, who leads the championship. Congratulations to Tom Kahn, who back number 17 there, who muscled his way to the front in the first race this morning. Can he do it again on the TC Racing Triumph? Declan's Racing, Phil Atkinson finished in second place. M40 Triumph, Dales Racing, Freddie Pett in third place. These guys have got two sighting laps, or should I say warm-up laps here around this very, very beautiful circuit at Oulton Park, where we will return, of course, for a three-main race, triple header in August. So this is not the last of the action that we'll capture around one of the best circuits in the country. It's been a massive crowd here today. There'll be a lot of patient people having to queue up to get out, I think, and including that gentleman. He's obviously waiting till all is done before he makes his move home. What you need on a day like this is a travel rug. Wherever you may care to wear it. But it has, although it's turned a bit drafty and windy and distinctly cool in the second half of the afternoon, we haven't really had any rain, just the merest hint of it during that second Superbike race. So really the conditions have been absolutely delightful. Yeah, the way to spot your winner from leg one of this Triumph Triple Challenge was Tom Kahn. You'll spot him black bike, but with really vibrant kind of blue and red stripes over it. He's the reigning 125 GP champ. And also watch out for Scott Pitchers, number 111. He's the reigning Cup champion in this class from last year. Only 19, I think, Scott, if my info and memory serves me. The standings after 4 of 20 races in the Triumph Triple Challenge, which has been renamed the TriStar R&G Triple Challenge. Freddie Pett on 81 points is 9 points ahead of Phil Atkinson, the perennial bridesmaid in this class, on 72. Scott Pitchers on 56 is third, ahead of Sam Cox on 45. Jesse James Jones is fifth. Sixth is Tom Kahn. Seventh is Bohm. Eighth is Middlemass. Ninth, Steady Steadman. And 10th place for Lund. Behind that, we've got Scott Adam, followed by Oliver Hill, Sam Thompson on 14 points, and then into single figures with Ben Taylor, Mark Pennington, Kieran Newman, Terry Lewis, David Sellers. That's 7 points for his excellent 9th place earlier today. And then Luke Smith and Ben Neary on 2 and 1 points respectively. The starting grid is headed by Freddie Pett, the 6'6" lad from East Anglia, ahead of Tom Kahn, the race winner this morning, and Phil Atkinson. Second row led by Londoner Sam Cox, who, remember, pulled off a dramatic and unexpected race win at Brands Hatch, ahead of Scott Pitchers and Jesse James Jones. Sam Middlemass is in row 3 ahead of Christa Baum and Richard Steadman. And the 4th row headed up by Salty Sellers, Andrew Lund and Scott Adam. So this is 12 laps ahead of them then in the TriStar R&G Triple Challenge, all on Triumph Triple motorcycles. And number 66, Freddie Pett, is on pole position, and we'll be looking for, of course, the briskest of starts from that position. Sam Cox, incidentally, nickname, not surprisingly, Coxie, 23-year-old Londoner who won at Brands Hatch. He's starting from 4th place on the grid, so look out for him. That could be interesting to see what number 31 is capable of. Outside his normal patch, shall we say.
Here we go.
So Freddie Pett on the M40 Triumph Dales racing bike, number 66, the 22-year-old from Kings Lynn in Norfolk, looking for a bright start off pole position. Gets his head down, heads towards Old Hall Corner. Whoa, Tom Kahn gets a series of wheelies he didn't want. And Tom, that was Freddie Pett getting edged out. I think it might have been Phil Atkinson who moved across. Well, someone certainly grabbed the advantage off Freddie Pett as they headed down. And I think it might have been Atkinson.
It is Atkinson, the South African, yeah.
He's opening up his account early, James.
You know, I think there is an element of payback going on here.
Yeah. Bulldozing his way through to the front. So Atkinson, Pett, Kahn are the front 3 men ahead of Sam Cox, Jesse Jones, Scott Pitchers. Middlemass is 7th ahead of Baum and Richard Steadman as they carve their way round the Shell Oils hairpin. We've got 11 laps. It's a slightly shortened second race, 12 down to 11. And Phil Atkinson, you've got to like Phil Atkinson. He's just tried to win this for so long, and he's so often not quite made it. The South African lad, a bit of a veteran really of racing in the UK now.
Yeah, and sporting a plain white helmet, and that's unusual because he's normally the bike's emblazoned with the Union Jack, but also the South African flag, and normally his helmet too. He's easy to spot. He's not now. Well, he's now, because he's at the front, but...
but it is unusual. I just wonder if, you know, is he racing such a British bike that he's been told not to wear his South African helmet?
No,
that's an interesting one.
The bike has the Union Jack on one side and the South African flag on the other.
Okay.
But also, with these guys, it's more likely that he's had enough in practice, scrapped an helmet and didn't have it to do it.
So he leads the way anyway. He actually emigrated to America in 2003 from South Africa and then to the UK in 2004. So he's been 10 years, a whole decade racing over here, Phil Atkinson.
It's like a wave. No fixed aboard Atkinson.
So Phil Atkinson then leads the way, and behind him, Atkinson now, by the way, is he actually on the, shall we say, the very middle of the year, on the 21st of June, will turn 31. Lives in Hertfordshire, of course, right here in the United Kingdom, his adopted country, and at the moment he leads the way from Freddie Pett. Freddie's a most engaging character. He's extraordinarily, he's even taller than Danny Buchan, peers down on everybody in the paddock. And behind him, Tom Kahn, who's an equally likeable lad from Rossendale up in Lancashire.
Yeah, Lancashire lad is Tom.
A 20-year-old bike mechanic, Tom Kahn,
and it looks like
the way.
It looks like a bike mechanic as well, with grubby fingers.
A bit like yourself sometimes, Shane, because you're still, you know, you do like to do a lot of work in your workshop.
Of course I do, yeah. Swan finger's expensive, you know that.
And it's Sam Cox who's getting to grips, it looks to me, with Oulton Park. Sam Cox running number 31 after that really surprise victory. As I said, he's a Londoner, 23 years old, sports technician, which is an interesting one.
That's him, number 31, 4th on the road. There he is, catching up with the leading 3, blue and black and white leathers, black and white bike.
And as they lodge down towards Lodge Corner, Freddie Pett just having a little look up the inside and thinking better of it, staying back in 2nd place behind Atkinson. I was going to say it's a bit early for the fisticuffs yet, but not really the way that Phil managed to make the whole shot. Tom Kahn's already beginning to look like he's eyeing up Freddie Pett's 2nd place.
Fisticuffs are like Pims when you're racing, it's never too early.
What's intriguing about it's when someone emerges from a winter of hibernation somewhat markedly quicker than they were before they departed, James.
Yeah.
Like Sam Cox in 4th place there, 11th in the series last year, 12th in the series before. Never looked like running right at the front.
Good Scott, a good shot of Scott Pitcher's there, 1-1. But yeah, and it's the same bikes and it's the same people you're racing against essentially, and the same tracks. And it always amazes me that sometimes when a season gets going and somebody goes from sort of mid-pack but has one good result for whatever reason, then they get a bit of confidence, then that starts the ball rolling. But in Cox's case, it's just the fact that, he might have had a good winter, I don't know.
So Sam Cox, he lives in Bow in East London. And by the way, what do you mean by a spud? Oh, we look at Freddie Pett looking at thinking about taking the lead here, but not quite. He just really did creep up alongside, but obviously decided it was too early in the race to really lunge. There's Sam Cox. He works at the Mossbourne Community Academy in Hackney as a sports technician, so very much an East End lad, number 31, Sam Cox.
What is a sports technician, Jack?
I don't know. I'm fascinated to ask him. His hobbies include wakeboarding and mountain biking. I guess you can do a lot of that in Hackney. Oh, he's moving inside Tom Kahn, and he's slipped through into 3rd place.
Wakeboarding in Hackney.
So Sam Cox captures 3rd place from the race. Oh no, he glances across because Kahn's got inside him, but not deep enough. And he gets cast adrift in 4th place. I suppose you've got to look at Tom Kahn and think, James, this is, although it's the Triumph Triple as opposed to Super Stock or Super Sport, it is a big step up from a 125 GP bike to a 675 Triple.
Correct.
You're handling a good deal more, aren't you?
Yeah, the 125 who won the championship last year would be, well, it was a 125 Honda. It would have weighed about 75 kilograms and had about 50 brake horse from a 2-stroke single. These are perhaps 175 kilograms, a lot bigger bike. They handle a lot different, and probably about 130 brake horsepower out of these. So yes, different.
Good battle going on between Scott Pitchers and Jesse Jones. They're running in 5th and 6th places. Sam Middlemass is 7th, and then Curtis Baum is 8th. Alexander Lund is 9th, ahead of Richard Stedman, and then there's Lewis, Adams, Sellers, Alexander and Brown rounding out the top 15. And here are some of them. This is part of the multicoloured battle of triumphs as they come down the hill and go into, I think that's number 91 that we're looking at there, who is Christer Baum from Sweden on the FDR racing bike. All of them, of course, 675 triple triumphs.
Yeah, one of the beauties about racing in a class like this is you can't do it exactly, but you can figure out how much it's going to cost you. You know how much your tyres are going to cost. You know how many you're going to use, basically. And unless you start throwing the bike down the road, you've got to buy the bike, buy a bit of pattern bodywork, and then maybe refresh the engine in the middle of the season. You're unlikely to get one blow up. They're fairly standard and they're dead reliable. So it's a class that you can figure out before the season starts, more or less what it's going to cost you.
As they launch down through Dealey, the blue bike at the back of that bunch is Salty Sellers, by the way, running a number 169 with the very much off the peg black leathers. And he was actually saying he's found out he's running Tom Hayward's bike from last year, but Tom Hayward's gone off car racing, rather like your mate Josh Cagle.
Josh Cagle, yeah, and Josh Cagle's doing really well at car racing. He's very promising, apparently.
Well, David Seller was saying that he can't believe how much money people have to chuck at running a British Superbike team during the course of a year, and he said, if he was a son of one of these rich fellas, he'd be saying, hang on, Dad, that's my heritage. Will you stop throwing it at motorbike racing?
What better way can you have of getting your heritage spent on you than going racing bikes?
Oh, not if you're necessarily part of it. Oh, look at this. The leaders have really closed up. Cox putting the pressure on Pett. Pett putting the pressure on Phil Atkinson, who's led from the off. We're on the 5th lap of 11. And as they launch away, it looks to me as if Tom Kahn's just slightly losing touch for this front three. This could develop into an entertaining three-way battle. Though, of course, you said that Tom Kahn produced some pretty nail-biting punches late on yesterday, James, to get himself to the front.
Yeah, mostly big sort of braking lunges, and yeah, it worked. I mean, he was close, but it did work. Way up.
Freddie Pett looks as if he thinks about it going on the road down to Lodge, but never quite makes it stick at the end. And Phil Atkinson actually gave him space then, but he still didn't actually make the late move.
It was a trap.
False sense of security. as we go through Old Hall Corner. And sorry, it's coming to the end of a long day, folks. Excuse us, we tend to get a bit frayed at this time of the day. Dropping down the hill then through Cascades, and Phil Atkinson still holds sway. Freddie Pett in second, Sam Cox in third. And fastest lap so far, 142.642 by Tom Kahn, who's running in fourth place.
Yeah.
And I do beg his pardon, it's a new lap record, because Charlie King's lap record from last year was a 142.906. So Tom Kahn on lap 2, after here's me insinuating he hasn't learned how to ride the Triumph yet on bike number 17, he's broken the lap record. I beg your pardon, it turns out that there was a lap record set this morning of 1 minute 42.26. A new lap record got set during this morning's race, when of course the conditions were warmer, James.
Yeah, there'd be a little bit more grip this morning. That was Freddie Pett.
So Freddie Pett is the new lap record holder, running in second place here, taking a long look over his shoulder. James, did you ever look over your shoulder when you were racing?
Yeah, quite a lot, but each subsequent team manager told me to stop it, so eventually I did. The man who looked over his shoulder most was
Fabian
Forey, yeah, and regularly used to crash after looking back in his younger days.
Up 3 abreast as now we go down to Lodge Corner. Freddie Pett looks to have sized it up this time, and he slipped through past Philip Atkinson and takes the lead on the 6th lap of 11, so just gone half distance. And suddenly Sam Cox looks equally eager to find a way through on bike number 31. But Atkinson responds straight away, squeezes underneath even Freddie Pett's 6'6" right knee, and leads it down to Cascades. That's the way to respond, isn't it? Instantly.
Yeah, good battle, you know, and it's really good being in a race with a few people who, you know, are on exactly the same tyres, exactly the same compound of tyres, exactly the same bike, same speed. It's a comforting thing, you can enjoy that. Which I'm sure these boys are.
Philip Atkinson's finished third in this series for the last 2 years, and of course he had plenty of history in the series before that. He's been plugging away at this Triumph series for a long time. Behind him, Freddie Pett, who of course hasn't won the championship yet. He's currently leads the standings.
Yeah, needs to get it won before they deport him. They seem to have deported him from most other countries, so...
I thought for a moment you were talking about Freddie Pett. I wondered what he'd done wrong. Pett number 66, having made that one brave attempt on taking the lead, seems to have kind of slipped back into his second place.
I don't think he's finished yet.
No, I should
Battle
think
for
not.
ninth, this one.
Meanwhile, there's a bit of a set two going on for 9th place. There we are back with Salty Sellers over the top of the hill. Here comes number 85, Alexander Lund, and then Richard Stedman, number 77.
Salty Sellers, say it again. I like it when you say that.
No, I'm going to stop it now. Meanwhile, back at the front, that once again looked like Freddie Pett showing a front wheel to Atkinson, but not quite making it stick.
The Londoner Cox looks a danger man to me.
He does, doesn't he? And he's got a very determined, almost Chris Walker riding style about him. He looks like he's crouched with purpose there. So Sam Cox, number 31, right behind M40 Triumph Dales Racing's number 66, Freddie Pett with the white fairing, who's a parts and service manager at C&A Superbikes Limited.
Surprising just how many people in the paddock actually work in the bike industry, selling spares, working on bikes, running shops.
Into the long right-hander at the Shell Oils hairpin, and as they slingshot their way around there, these bikes are so evenly matched, James. Someone's going to have to produce a very brave move to shake things up here, aren't they? We're on the 8th lap of 11, and if they're all thinking of leaving it till the last lap, it's going to get very crowded. Yeah,
and you've got to figure out what your strengths are, you know, how you can ride them a little bit different. Maybe you're better into the corners, maybe you've got more mid-corner speed, and make that advantage count if you can.
Freddie Pett just a little tighter into the turns, and Tom Kahn has recovered himself now. He set the fastest lap of the race on lap 2, but he now seems to have come back up towards the front 3, so it's turning back into a 4-way race here with number 3 Philip Atkinson still leading the way, as he has done pretty much from the off. Comes originally, by the way, from Durban, from KwaZulu in Natal, and this time Freddie Pett does get up inside him, and he will cleanly make the passes that go into Lodge. This is on the 8th lap of 11, so 3 laps to go from this point, and Freddie Pett forces his way to the front. Now we know that he's going to be attacked again up the inside. He's got to move a little defensively, and he doesn't. He leaves the barn door open, and Atkinson arrows through.
Look, no, Cox is right on him now.
And Cox is looking for an inside line. Freddie Pett he might have got them both. You know. Sam Cox brilliantly gets the two of them going down the avenue into Cascades.
That's opportunism, is that?
Brilliant. They both unsteadied one another through the first turn. Sam Cox came straight out and did it, but Freddie Pett, has he got back ahead? He has. Launches past through Island Bend.
He's gone wide, though.
Tom Carnes decided that they're going to mix things up. Atkinson.
What did I tell you? Go on, boys, don't let me down now.
No, I don't think they're going to, James.
No, I don't think they are. That's close stuff.
Time to swap a bit of paint. Well, 3 of them are black, so it won't show. So round they go, round Britons, up the hill, the steep climb, crest the top of the hill, and then plunge down towards Hizzy's chicane.
I feel sorry for Cox there. He got kind of beaten up there going into Shellall's hairpin. Oh, and Atkinson ran really wide there, got it locked up, couldn't turn in.
Sam Cox in 3rd place, 4th place Tom Kahn at the front. Freddie Pett has the advantage at the moment over number 3 Phil Atkinson. Sam Cox had a bit of a mishap earlier today in the first race. I think that might be a word to describe it. As they go launch down towards Lodge Corner, Freddie Pett leads the way. He's got 2 more laps to go, having finally secured the lead on lap 9.
And that's kind of a big lead.
It is by these standards. Could be he's going to let you down here, James, by escaping at the front. Oh, Sam Cox tries to squeeze inside for that 2nd place. He's certainly keeping as much pressure on as he can down the avenue. Freddie Pett still leads the way, though. Freddie Pett, who has raced in the Triumph Triple Challenge since 2010, so another of the guys who's been at this for a long time.
Yeah.
Having previously been something the Derby Phoenix F400 Novice Champion Day. That'll take you back to, James, to your club racing days.
Club Derby Phoenix, yeah, it's well attended club these days as well. A lot of racing members. I did their dinner dance annual prize giving a couple of years ago, and it was a big affair, I've got to say.
And Tom Kahn goes really wide, bounces the curves coming out of Britain's. He's pushing hard, is the Lancashire lad. That's cost him time.
Yeah, it's just proof that if you run into a series of corners 1 foot wide, you end up 6 foot wide coming out the last one.
Yes. Meantime, it's still looking like it's down to these 3. Sam Cox, after that one lunge to the front, just doesn't quite seem to have been able to gather himself together for another assault. The traffic already leaving in the background, and patience is going to be rewarded in that lot, I can tell you. On the 10th lap of 11. And hurtling round Druids. Now Cox tries to get the drive and picks it up underneath Phil Atkinson across the undulations down to Lodge Corner. The Londoner tries his luck and forces a way through inside the Hertfordshire-based South, getting lapped here, but he's just about getting on. He's off the racing line enough. Yep. Freddie Pett, Sam Cox, Phil Atkinson not able to retake Cox as he tries to swing inside him into the final lap. I beg your pardon, the final turn. Into the final lap, Freddie Pett leads. 2nd place, Cox does a 1:42.146 second lap. That might be a new lap record. Sam Cox sets a new lap record on bike number 31 on the penultimate lap. And he's right behind the leader, Freddie Pett. Cox, having opened his account, of course, and surprised us all at Brands Hatch, very much his local track. And he's now right behind Freddie Pett. Half a lap to go here at Oulton Park.
And he's close enough to have a bit of a go at this. He's Cox.
Freddie Pett in the lead. Phil Atkinson there with the grandstand view in 3rd place. Sam Cox straining everything he can to get himself right on terms. Bike number 31, the Sam Cox Racing Triumph. What else would you call it? Over the hill, down the hill.
Freddie Pett defends a little bit.
Big mistake by Cox, runs it way wide, and that's the end of his chance on the win. And Phil Atkinson nearly managed to take advantage, but almost caught the back wheel of his rival and had to back off.
Yep, that's settled the job.
And that, disappointingly, without any paint being exchanged, has just about settled the score here in the second TriStar R&G Triple Challenge of the weekend. So 66, Freddie Pett, looks like he's going to take victory here and open up a bigger lead in the championship. Freddie Pett out of the final turn and crosses the line to take victory in the second race here, and he looks pretty delighted with that. Second place goes to Sam Cox, third place to Phil Atkinson, fourth place should go to Tom Kahn. Meanwhile, battles all the way. Scott Pitchers in fifth place as they came round the last time, and Pitchers just edges Jesse Jones across the line for fifth place. Jones finishes sixth. Sam Middlemass crosses the line in seventh place, and then there was that enormous bust-up going on behind them. Number 66, Freddie Pett, though, takes the honours here. And lovely ride for him. Meanwhile, oh, this is the battle going on. We're looking for Christer Bohm, Alexander Lund, Lewis Steadman. Sellers are all involved in this one as they come storming across the line.
Jack, tell us where Salty Sellers finished. Quick.
Salty Sellers finished 12th.
Excellent.
Behind Christer Bohm, Alexander Lund, and number 24, Terry Lewis from Wickford on the 3GI Tech Triumph. And just if you just want to complete the picture, the point scorers: Alexander 13th, Adam 14th, and we're still waiting for Newman to cross the line in 15th. But that won't concern this lad, Freddie Pett, because he has taken a well-earned victory on the M40 Dales Racing Triumph. And that means that he has increased his lead in a pair of Jimmy Yates Scott leathers, no less.
Yes.
Jimmy, personally built for a man with the height of a giraffe. Jimmy wouldn't like having to part company with that much leather, James. He'd charge him extra.
Like that, would he?
Definitely charge him extra. So Pett then wins perfectly decent race. Tom Kahn finishes in fourth place. That will at least keep him somewhere near the front of the championship. The results look like this then. Second race of the weekend for the Triple Challenge. Freddie Pett wins it from Sam Cox and Phil Atkinson, with Tom Kahn in third place. Beg your pardon, I'll start again. Tom Kahn in fourth place, Scott Pitchers fifth, ahead of Jesse Jones, Sam Middlemass, Curtis Bohm, Alexander Lund and Terry Lewis. 11th place for Richard Steadman, 12th place for David Sellers, 13th place for number 21 Max Alexander, 14th place for Adam, 15th place Newman, and then outside the point scorers: Brown, Pennington, Smith, Mayer and Neary. The standings after those two races today, that's 5 races out of 20, already a quarter of the way through their season. The TriStar R&G Triple Triumph Challenge. Freddie Pett has 106 points, a rather grand lead of 18 over Phil Atkinson in second. Atkinson in turn has a 21-point advantage over Scott Pitchers in third, with Sam Cox just 2 points back in fourth place. Tom Kahn is fifth. Jesse Jones runs in sixth place ahead of Curtis Bohm. Sam Middlemass is eighth ahead of Richard Steadman and Alexander Lund. Outside the top 10, we've got Scott Adam in 11th place, Oliver Hill in 12th place ahead of Thompson, Terry Lewis, David Sellers on 11 points, and then Newman 16th ahead of Taylor, Pennington, Alexander and Smith. The final race of the afternoon here at Oulton Park, the TriStar R&G Triple Triumph Challenge, and a storming, muscular start from Phil Atkinson shoves the British-based South African to the front, and that's a lead he's pretty much going to hang on to throughout the race until the closing stages, when it perhaps really mattered. Freddie Pett was in pursuit. Sam Cox got the better of this morning's winner, Tom Kahn. One of the riders ran straight on when he didn't wish to. That was number 91 going grass cutting, Christer Bohm from Sweden. But he regrouped to fight his way back through to 8th place. Meantime, Phil Atkinson briefly lost the lead to Freddie Pett and then retook the advantage. But Pett wasn't having it, and he launched himself back past, or attempted to, at Island Bend. Atkinson clung on. Sam Cox running in third place. Now has a chance to launch his way past, but it's Freddie Pett who grabs the lead of Phil Atkinson. and it's Pett who takes victory. Cox grabs second place for a disenchanted Atkinson. Great ride by Freddie Pett.
Phil, from the front row to third place, but you look a little bit disappointed with that.
Yeah, no, led most of the laps, I think, but in the end, Freddie got past. I tried to pass him back, and then Sam ran wide and just messed us both up, really. So that was the last lap, so couldn't do much about it. But no, at least it's still 2 podiums the weekend, so happy with that. And then next week maybe go and do a bit of testing and get some time on the bike. It's just been a last-minute thing, so just a big thanks to Stuart Jones, Declan's Racing, Clayton Francois in South Africa, Johnny Towers with the trick motor helmet again, and yeah, everyone else, thanks.
Thanks very much.
Cheers, mate.
All right, second place in today's final race action was Sam Cox. Sam, another podium for you. It was a bit of a hectic last lap.
Yeah, I was sort of where I wanted to be fair, going into the last lap, just behind the leader, because obviously you can see what's going on. I kind of knew where I was strong. I knew where I wanted to make a pass, but just going down the hill into Knickerbrook chicane, just made a mistake, let out a clutch too quickly, and I was pretty lucky to be able to make the corner, to be fair. So I think I might have messed up Phil as well, so I probably need to go and apologise to him. But yeah, after race one, disappointment race one, just glad to be back on the podium and back in the points sort of thing. So yeah, good ride.
Great job, well done.
Cheers, thanks a lot.
And the winner of the final race here at Oulton Park today, Freddie Pett. Freddie, once again making me look short down here. Congratulations, a great win.
Yeah, so I'm over the moon with that win. I've always loved Oulton Park, never had much luck around here. I've had some bad in, broke my back finally to get the duck off my back, and I was happy with the third in the first race, and to go out and win that last one like that, I was just over the moon.
Looking strong in the championship now as well.
Yeah, no, so hopefully secured my lead in the championship and built me a little bit of a cushion going into the World Superbike round. And no, things are going well. I'm enjoying my riding. Oh, a massive thanks to all my pit crew, my brother, Steve, my dad, all my sponsors, M40 Triumphs, Dale Sports, HJC Helmets, Soul Clean, Nox Armour, everyone that helps me. And yeah, it's a real team effort this year, and we're really enjoying it, and the results are coming.
Thanks very much. Well done, Freddie.
Cheers, thank you.
OK, well, that wraps up the live action for today. We're going to take a quick break now. When we come back,